Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Welcome, welcome. If we have any issues, if this gets interrupted, just please wait. I will get right back online right away. The last stream was interrupted. What we got the third time was the charm. But just to put it out there, if there's any kind of interruptions, just give it a minute. I'll get back online as soon as I possibly can. It happens. What are you going to do? Okay. And it's not from my end. My end is good. So anyway, welcome aboard. Welcome for the show tonight. We're going to be talking about the coronavirus, locking down of 50 million people. And we're going to get into that. That's what I really want to get into, to kind of really talk about the seriousness of the whole situation. Okay. So before we get started, though, I would just like to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. So please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. Let's just all be respectful of each other. And if you have a disagreement or you disagree, let's agree to disagree. That's the best thing we can do, okay? So, and if you don't, I have those awesome moderators lit up in blue, and they will boot you out of here because we're not going to tolerate nastiness or nonsense, okay? So just putting that out there for everybody. And, of course, we will get the people that are going to still play the game. Looks like an earthquake, right? Cat scratching himself. So anyway, I don't know if you saw the camera moving. That was what it was. My cat was giving himself a nice scratch. So anyway, there he goes again. Max. I'm going to have to put him down here in a second if he doesn't stop. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Max, go. Go. Stop. Go. No, don't stop. He doesn't want to leave. He likes to stay close to me. That's my my orange cat there, Maximus. All right. So anyway, what I really want to focus on talking about tonight, there's a lot of talk going around. Obviously, a lot of people saying a lot of things. This flu is not that bad because not that many people have died. The regular flu is worse, and all this type of stuff. Okay. So what I want to focus on. Okay, and I want you to to bear with me on this, and let's look at it logically. Okay, you have now the city of Wuhan has 10.5 million people. All right, they said like 5 million people were gone on holiday. By the time they did the lockdown, but they're saying right now in Wuhan there's 9 million people because other people had come in to visit, obviously. So you have right now about 9 million people just in Wuhan alone. And then where's the other 41 million coming from? It's other cities around that area. And what they have done is they've locked these cities down. Now, from what I'm understanding is they're bringing in food for people, which is fantastic. Okay. Because otherwise there would be, it would be a lot worse of a situation. But they're digging up the roads. They're putting up barriers. They are, blocking the roads with stuff so people cannot leave. Now, don't get me wrong. Any city out there, there's ways to get out if you really, truly want to get out. But they actually had a window of opportunity as well. They knew that the lockdown was coming, and quite a few people fled just before the lockdown went in place as well. So now, right now they're saying the total cases, the last time I looked, was 6,100 cases of people with the coronavirus. They're saying that 133 people have died, and they said that like 107 had recovered. Okay, a lot of stuff going on out there. It's only affecting the old people. It's only affecting people that are compromised. There's a lot of stuff that we really don't know. Okay, what we do know is that there's this virus out there that China felt the need to lock down 50 million of its residents in its country. Now, I want you to think about that. It's like, why are you locking them down? Because obviously they don't want them to go out and spread that virus elsewhere, but it's already spreading elsewhere in the country, obviously, right? Are you willing to sacrifice 50 million people to save, 1.45 more million or whatever it is, or billion, 1.45, whatever the numbers would be? But you're willing to sacrifice those people. Have they wrote those people off? What my biggest thing is with that whole situation, the way that they have locked those cities down doesn't make sense if it's such a minor breakout as they're portraying it to be. You don't lock down 50 million people for that. Hey, Mountain Girl, how you doing tonight? This is an NRA-based virus. Everyone who contracts this virus potentially affects 3.4 people. Yeah, I heard it was up to as much as 3.8, but thank you very much for that information, and thank you very much for the donation too. I do appreciate that. United British Airways and other carriers have finally suspended flights to China. Well, it's about time, right? There's not enough information. There's not enough truthful information. A lot of people are speculating, obviously. Myself included, I'm speculating. What I look at reality, and I look at what makes sense, and I look at what doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense if 6,000 people in your country of 1.5 or 1.6 billion people, if you have 600 or 6,000 cases in your country, you don't lock down 50 million people. I keep coming to that. You don't do that for something that's minor. So there's obviously a lot of information that we're not getting. How many people are really dying? How bad is this going to be? And how bad is it going to affect the rest of the world? So Darnell is saying there's 100,000 dead. Well, and again, there's no way to substantiate that. We really can't substantiate that is a legitimate number. Like I said, honestly, guys, we're never going to be given a legitimate number. If this thing right now was rampant also in the United States, they would not tell you, okay? Because they don't want panic. They don't want people absolutely flipping out and going nuts. So they're going to try to keep it under wraps as much as they possibly can. Right now, they're saying there's 5 cases in the United States. Now, I keep hearing people I get a lot of information, getting a lot of information. And other people are saying there's a confirmed case here, there's a confirmed case there. Well, until they come out and say, yes, we have this confirmed case here, there, or the other place, I have to go by what they're putting out there. Which, again, is that always the truth? No, of course not, okay? There's a lot of potential for this thing to go absolutely nuts. You're talking about, like Mountain Girl just said, let's say the number is 3.4, okay? Again, we'll go back to the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu affected each person, and what she was saying is 3.4. For every person that's infected, they have a potential to infect 3.4 people. The Spanish flu, which killed, 50 million people at the time, and there was a lot less people on the planet than there is now, that one affected 1.8. So every one person infected with the Spanish flu, they infected 1.8 people. And in that case, like I said, 50 million people died. Until this thing we really get a handle on how bad things are and what's really going on, we're never really going to know what the truth is up to that point. But my thing is, and I talked about this before, we've been given this window of opportunity right now. Right now in the United States, what they're saying is it's not bad here in the United States yet, right? So let's go with the fact that maybe there's not a whole bunch of people walking around that are infected, that don't know they're infected, they're spreading this. Like I said, the things that scare me about the virus, realistically, is the incubation period, which is up to 2 weeks. And while you're in that incubation period, you're still infectious and you still can infect other people, okay, unknowingly. Because if somebody knew that they had this, they're not going to say, well, screw it, I'm just going to go ahead and infect a whole bunch of people. That's not going to happen, all right? So let's think about that to start with. So again, what we want to look at is, we have this opportunity right now to do something to prepare ourselves if we have to shelter in place. I mean, what if we wake up tomorrow and they say, yeah, we got 200 cases in California now. So if they did something like that, then you're going to see people really start to go, oh, wait a minute. All right. There's a lot of people walking around going, oh, yup, it's no big deal. It's all propaganda. And I've heard everything. Well, they're doing this because they want to push a vaccine. There's a lot of, like I said, a tremendous amount of information going out there. So you got to really try to weed out what's true and what's not true. So I'm a big believer in looking at reality and trying to sift through that, okay? Are the numbers what they're giving us correct? I doubt it very much. Like I said, you don't lock down that many people for that small of an outbreak of people being infected. You really don't. So how bad really is it over there in China? And then I heard this too. Well, over there, the numbers are going to be higher because they don't have what we have here, and nobody's died here from it yet. Well, right now, according to the numbers, we have 5 people in the United States that have it. Okay, 5. All right. Do we have better medical care than China? Of course we do. But if this thing takes off in the United States, it don't matter how good our medical is here. They would be overwhelmed, overworked. It would be a catastrophe all over the world. It doesn't matter how great your medicine is. So let's put this into perspective, guys, okay? Let's say this flu truly does take off in the United States. So XYZ hospital has, and I'm even going to go with a high number. I'm going to go with a high number because I know this number is not correct. Let's say they have 20 isolation units to be able to isolate people that are sick with a contagious disease. And they don't have that many, but I'm going to use that number. If you have hundreds of people coming to the hospital that are infectious and have this disease, okay, that is going to spread like crazy. There's no way that they can contain that with that type of numbers coming in, and they don't have the places to put these people. I mean, if you've seen the videos on YouTube of the hospitals in China, that people were in the hallways, they had dead people in the hallways covered up, and they couldn't even get to them and take care of them. I mean, that's scary. That is absolutely scary. So the CDC offered China help and China refused. Tubular Guy 9 just said that. You know, and I heard that as well. Is that true? I don't know. Like I said, I mean, that absolutely possibly could be true. They're trying to contain that situation over there. They're probably, like I said, they're not putting out, I heard U.S. gas 3,800 quarantined at the southern border. You know what? I don't know about that. I don't know if that's legitimate or not. I really can't say. So, you know, but let's see. China would destroy whole cities to contain it. They don't. You know what? And they probably would. They said they would. China would destroy whole cities to contain it, and absolutely they would, because they're a communist government. They can do whatever they want, and the people have no options as far as that goes. So that absolutely could happen. You just don't know. You really just don't know. Guys, I'm going to shoot and ask you for a thumbs up yet to show support for the channel, and I would appreciate that support. Jerry says, wife has family working in Beijing. Streets are deserted. I'm beginning to believe. Wow. Okay. That and thank you very much for that donation, Jerry. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, guys, I'm telling you what, this is not a joke. This whole thing is not a joke at all. It is the real deal over there in China. And it is a scary, scary thing. And the fact that it is spreading, just because we have, okay, so we have, as of, like I said, we don't know 100% for sure. But right now we're talking about 5 confirmed cases in the United States. My question is, how many other people did those 5 people come in contact with? What are they doing to make sure those people aren't contagious? I mean, what are we not being told? What information are we not being given? So that would be part of the thing that I would be concerned about, you know, as far as that goes. Okay. I've talked about this. I honestly believe that all of us, anybody that's watching my channel right now, we need to prepare to shelter in place if this thing gets really crazy. So how do you do that, right? We talked about this a little bit in my last live stream. The way you do that is you get supplies in place, you get medical supplies, you get, you know, plastics. So if you have to tape up and make yourself a room, if somebody in your house gets sick and they have to quarantine them, and you quarantine them in a bedroom or whatever you have to do, or if you have another place that you can put them to quarantine them, you know, masks, gloves, all those things right now. You know, N95, I've heard that N95 is not good enough. You know, N100s are better. You know what? There's really a lot of speculation. I can't say N95 works or N95 doesn't work. But now, is N100 a better mask than an N95? Yes, it is. Okay. Hey, Jules, thank you very much for that donation. I do appreciate that. Think about your average day. How many people are you around if you work? 20, 40, 100? Exactly, Chris. Chris Hansen just said that. Well, think about this. You go into a public store. Think about when you go grocery shopping or you go to Walmart. Let's think about Walmart on an average day, and you walk in there. How many people just in Walmart are you coming in contact with? Okay. Now you stop at the gas station and you get gas. You got to go in. You got to pay for your gas. Now you got to go back out. You touch that handle of the gas handle. You're pumping your gas. There's a lot of contact that you're having every single day with a lot of either direct people or inanimate, objects like, the gas handle or the door for the gas station when you're opening and closing that door. So there's a lot of scary stuff that diseases, and if this disease with the coronavirus is very, very contagious, is what they're obviously saying. Okay, people are saying, well, not that many people are dying yet. Not that many people that we are told are dying yet. That's what you got to really look at. How many people are really sick? How many people have already died? The real number. That information we will not get. Hey, Jules, again, thank you very much. I appreciate that donation. Thank you so much. So I did want to mention really quickly, guys, I did decide to do a sale, and the reason I did it, I had people asking if they could get, a discount for the freeze-dried foods that I do sell on my website. Now, I will tell you, you should store food. If you choose to store freeze-dried food, like I said, right now I'm doing a sale. It's a 20% discount on the freeze-dried legacy freeze-dried food on my website at preppernurse1.com. Okay, you go in, whatever the price you see there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna discount 20% off of that as you check out. The price you see is not what you're gonna pay. The discount is done at checkout. Okay, so if you are interested in getting freeze-dried food to have, it's great for you. It's made in the United States. It's made right in Utah. And it is, GMO free, and it's the largest portion sizes of all the freeze-dried foods. Now, do you have to buy legacy freeze-dried food? Absolutely not. Whatever you decide to do, if you want to do legacy foods, if you want to do Augustin Farm, whatever your flavor is, I highly encourage you to add to your preps. Okay, I'm not saying this because I want you to buy my product that I sell. That is completely up to you. I'm just saying, having stuff back and having things ready, which you should be doing anyway, okay? Which you should be doing anyway. It's a smart thing to do. We have that window of opportunity right now to get these things in place. So if this virus does spread in the United States, it might be a month before all of a sudden they say, well, geez, you know what? Yes, this is really bad now. Now think about that. A month from now, there's not going to be nothing available to get, because then when everybody panics, think about that. Okay, so here's the best way to do it. Okay, you have the hurricanes come, you have a snowstorm coming, you have flooding coming, and you're trying to get ready for that. You've just got the word, this is coming. You go to the grocery store, and what do you see on the shelves? Everything's gone. You can't get bottled water, you can't get bread, milk. It's all, people are just loading up with whatever they can do. Especially if it's like a hurricane and they know that power is going to be out. Forget about getting a generator at that point, okay? All those things are not going to be available. So the best time to get ready for those events, we've gotten very, very fortunate that we've got the really early warning of this thing. Technically, what they're saying is we have 5 people confirmed in the United States. There are other people that are quarantined. There was 2 people here in New York in Broome County that they were checking into. Both of those people came back negative, thank goodness, okay? But again, will the United States be honest with us and tell us how truly bad it is? I don't think they would. I honestly don't think they would. So we need to be ready as much as we possibly can. When you need to make that call for yourself and your family and say, that's it, we're staying home and we're not going out for the next 2 weeks or week and see what happens. So you stay home for that week, and if things continue to get worse in that week, then you just keep staying home. If you have to, you do. The call is you do what's best for you and your family. I'm not, if I get to a point where I feel that it is warranted, I already talked to my daughter, okay? Anybody that watches my channel knows my daughter is in college. She is with a lot of students that are foreign students that are overseas that come to the college where she's at, okay? We've already had the discussion, and I told her, if it comes to that point where I feel it's time for you to come home, I go, you're coming home. And you know what my daughter said to me? All right, Dad, I trust you. And that's all I asked for her. I really think that we need to get ready because we don't know. The unknown is what makes me concerned. Okay. There's a lot going on. Obviously, there's a lot of others. So here, let's talk about. So what are we seeing on the news, right? Let's talk about what we're seeing on the news. You're not really hearing a whole lot about the coronavirus, but what you are hearing a whole lot about. Let's look at the impeachment. Let's talk about, Kobe Bryant dying in an air helicopter crash and his daughter. But we won't talk about the other 7 people that were on the helicopter too that all passed away. So again, these are games that are played constantly. Max, stop. So these are things that are all distractions. So we need to really focus, weed through the BS, and really focus on what's important. And I think this is something that could really be a turning point, and in a bad way. All right. If this thing, well, the economy too. Yeah, think about what it's going to do to the economy. There's another thing. Would China, whose economy was going down anyway, all right, it was in a recession anyway, they're going to shut down 50 million people, 50 million potential people that are working on whatever they're working on, and not worry about it and block them off and say, don't come out. Wuhan, if you've seen any of the videos, it looks like a ghost town. The guy from Ireland that was over there, I think he's a teacher. He was going out to the store. He was going to take his suitcase to load up on food so he could just stay in his apartment. So here's the other thing with that. Let's think about that for a second. So you got all these people. The hospitals are full. There's all kinds of sick people. So people are keeping their loved ones at home. There's probably people dying at home. Or there's somebody dying by themselves and nobody even knows. So how many people around that city of 10 million plus people that are laying around there already dead and nobody even knows about? And nobody's going out to check because they don't want to go out. Nobody wants to be out there. Right now, they can't even drive. They're not even allowed to drive at this point. So think about that. How serious is this that they've put these kind of restrictions on their people? That's what you got to think about. Really got to think about that. Guys, if you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I absolutely would appreciate it. I see we're at 1.1 as far as people in here, and we're 470 on the thumbs up. So if you would show that support for me, I definitely would appreciate that by hitting that thumbs up button. There's a man being tested in the hospital in New Hampshire for the virus. Diane just said that. Well, okay. I mean, like I said, I know that there was 63 people in like 22 states that they were checking. That was as of like 2 days ago. So again, there's a lot of people that are being checked. But again, the people that really are the ones in the United States that I'm more concerned about are the people that had contact with that guy, like the first guy. Let's just go with the first guy that came in to Seattle, Washington. Okay. How many people did he have contact with? How many people on the airplane did he have contact with? I mean, is everybody on that airplane infected? You don't know. You don't know how bad that transmission is spread. And realistically, let's say it's in a 30-foot radius of where he was. Well, then he's coughing on them. They're breathing out, and it could affect in the air circulating through that whole thing. That whole cabin of people on that airplane could be infected. Not know it. Leave the airplane. Go home. Nope, I'm fine. I'm not sick. I'm good to go. 10, 12 days later, all of a sudden they're not feeling well, and now they're sick. And in the meantime, they were infectious that whole time. And how many more people they had contact with? Like I said, on a daily basis, realistically, if you're out there working your job every day, like most people have to, how many people are you coming into contact with? Not just at work, but you stop in to your favorite place and you get your cup of coffee, right? So you're interacting with those people. Maybe you stop in at Dunkin' Donuts because you like to go get the donuts, or you'd like the Dunkin' Donuts coffee, or you think the girl behind the counter is cute, so you want to make sure you go in so you can see her every single day and say, "Hey, Shirley, how are you today?" Think about the interactions that we have every day with people. Every day we have a lot of interactions with people. So if you are contagious and don't know you're contagious, think about how many people you're infecting. Now they're infected. Who are they infecting? So those are things to think about. And this is not like a game. This is not a game at all. But Adam in Marfugal News said he was walking the city for days before he went to the hospital. Oh, in Seattle? Okay, well, there you go. So there's how scary is that? That guy was walking around for days before he went to the hospital. And then again, so now this guy is sick, went to the hospital finally. these other people on the airplane that he possibly infected, they have no idea. Who's Shirley? Right. I have no idea. I made that name up on the spot. So, yeah, it's definitely not a game. Ace of Spades just said, yeah, it's not. This is something that we really need to take serious. A lot of people are blowing it off. There's a lot of crazy conspiracy theories. I'm seeing them in my comments as well. And like I said, what is the truth and what is not the truth? That's hard to disseminate. It really is. I mean, we don't know. What we do know, when you look at facts, the fact is 50 million Chinese people have been isolated and cut off. Okay, that we know for a fact. That is a fact. Hey, Jerry, packs into Seattle, moved and quarantined into Everett, Washington, 12 miles away. Wow, okay. Yep, so again, but how many people did that gentleman affect? You know what I mean? If you think about it, scary, absolutely scary. Yeah, he gave to 3 friends, and they gave to 3 friends exactly. Yep, the Homestead Preps just said the truth is unknown. That is the scariest part of it, realistically. Now, again, my advice to everybody, and I've talked about this the last several days, and I'll say it again today, don't panic. And it's easy enough to say, but right now we don't know what the severity is, okay? What we do now may determine if we survive whatever this is. That's the way I look at it. So again, you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best. And that's all we can do. That's what you have control over right now. What you have control over right now is what you do right now. If you do nothing, okay, let's say you did nothing. This guy's full of crap. He's talking out of his behind. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not going to do anything, right? So then the virus does come and hits full force. You're caught with your pants down. Whose fault is that at that point? It's nobody's fault but your own, because you had ample warning. You had ample warning. You were told this is coming. This could be something that could be deadly. But because we've had so many false alarms and people go, here it comes again. It's the same thing. It's like H1N1. No big deal. It's like this virus, that virus. No big deal. I'm not going to do nothing. And then maybe this is the one that is the game changer. So, but again, how many of these other viruses did China lock down 50 million people? That would be my number one question to anybody that question the severity of this. How many times have you ever seen China lock down 50 million people? How many times have you ever seen them lock down one city? 10.5 million people in Wuhan. That whole city's locked down. Let's just go with that. Have you ever seen them lock down one city? You never have. You never have. Let's see. Guys, you want to take over, bend over there, please? I have 4 boxes of 6 mil 20 by 100 plastic on hand. Very good, Homestead Preps. Thank you very much, guys, for taking care of that too. That's the way to do it. Get your supplies now. If you got to be out in public now is the time to do it, to get what you need to get ready. That would be my advice. You know, I am continuing to prep myself. I've been picking up this, that, and the other thing. As you guys know, I've told you what I was doing. I got more food for my animals too, because I just said, hey, if we had a shelter in place, I got to make sure I feed my animals. So I got a lot more feed for the birds. I think I showed you guys. I picked up another 100 pounds of cracked corn, and I picked up another 50-pound bag of feed. But I got a ton of feed already. I probably got almost 200 pounds of feed for the birds alone. So. And then, like I said, now I have probably, I would say, 150 pounds of cracked corn for them. LMCJ, could this affect our food? Tons of people went to China in the New Year's, and now, hold on a second. I got to go back to read your comment. I'm sorry. Let's see. Now, and are selling the food at local restaurants, and they buy food from China. Again, that's the part that's one of those unknowns, guys. And thank you very much for that donation, by the way, too. But that is one of the unknowns. We don't know how long this survives on the surface of anything. It could be 6 hours, it could be 12 hours, it could be 24, it could be 48 hours, it could be a week. We don't know. That's another thing that they don't know yet, how long it survives on the surface. So that is a great question, and I wish I could give you a solid answer on that, but I don't know because they haven't even come up with that answer yet. Again, they don't have a cure for this yet either, guys. They don't. So there are obviously a lot of very, very smart people trying to figure this out. Believe me, if this is truly as bad as I believe that it is with what's happening in China, and again, if you just go with the numbers that they're giving us, that's not a realistic expectation. It just isn't, because they don't do this. And again, I'm going to say this over and over again, and I hope it sinks into people and they really sit down and look at it and use ration and reason. They don't lock 50 million people down for something that has affected 6,100 and something people, okay? And you only have, 100, according to them, 132 deaths. You don't lock down 50 million people for that. Now, I know they had their first death in Beijing, and the one commenter said that, like, they were over there, or somebody they knew were over there, and they said it's a ghost town in Beijing as well. Think about those cities, guys, and how many people are scared. People in China are scared. And you know what? They have a really, really good reason to be scared. And so, again, prepare now. Get as ready as you can. One of the things I guarantee that you should get ready for if you have to shelter in place, again, especially if you were in the city, your toiletry stuff, okay? Get a 5-gallon bucket. Make sure you get the contractor garbage bags. Why the contractor garbage bags, Ed? Because they are the thick, thick, thick ones. And if you are doing your business in that bucket inside that 5-gallon, because you're going to put that contractor garbage bag in first, that's going to keep everything contained. You use those little paper thin bags that you have that you use for your garbage can. As soon as you pull all that waste out, that bag might break. Now you have feces and urine and stuff like that all over the place. And I'm not trying to be nasty, but I'm saying you want to make sure you keep that contained. Contractor garbage bags are the way to go with that. Make sure you have that in place as well. That is really important, because if you have to shelter in place, and let's say the power goes out, okay? Let's say, the water's not running because now the power's out. You've got to have a way to be able to take care of stuff. Hey, Mountain Girl, be smart, stay aware, prepare, and if you have to, stay in place. Exactly. And thank you again for the donation. I do appreciate that. And that's a great thing. It's smart. Get ready, prepare. I'm going to say that over and over and over again. Now is not the time to panic. Let the people that are unprepared, that didn't pay attention, that weren't getting ready, let them panic when the time comes. Because then what's going to happen, guys? I want you to think about that. Like right now, and again, if you're going to go to the store, go late at night. Get out there and go shopping at 1 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody in that store. Because when panic time happens, which it will, you're going to have everybody and their brother descending upon these stores. And now you have, what do you have? Another petri dish of all these people getting together and doing all that. It would be insanity, absolute insanity. So if you can avoid that, absolutely avoid it as much as you possibly can. Absolutely do that. It's time to bunker down. It's getting close to that time. It's exactly getting that close to that time. I heard something about a vaccine. What do you do with it? Oh, with your waste you're talking about, Kat? If you have to, if you're in an apartment or something like that, and if it gets to that point and you have to hunker in place, you fill up that bag, you put it out the window, and you toss it. That if you have to, that's what you absolutely have to do. Now, if you're in suburbia, okay, let's say you're not in the city, you're in suburbia, or in the country, you go in your backyard and you dig that hole and you take care of your business that way. Or you have that bucket in your house, and when it fills up, you take it out and you dump it in that hole. You get rid of that waste any way that you have to at that point. You don't want to have it sitting around and then having all kinds of disease and everything else, because that's going to end up causing a lot more problems. So here's a good question, guys. Let's think about this a second. So now all of a sudden, let's say they come up with a vaccine for this thing and saying, you know what, you really need to get vaccinated for this because this is spreading like crazy. What call do you make then? Is that legitimate? Is it not legitimate? That's a hard call to make. Don't throw it out the window. I have to pick it up, right? Put it in the dumpsters. Well, like I'm saying, it's like if you're living in an apartment and you're up on the 15th floor, you're not going to want to walk out of your apartment and go down the stairs and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying as far as that goes. If you can put it in the side in a corner, if it's tied off and there's not any smell, then you do it that way, obviously. But, if worst case scenario and you're hunkering down in place for a month and you're in an apartment, you're not going to want to sit there with a big pile of feces and stuff like that in the corner. Composting toilet. Well, yeah, you can do that too in sawdust, but Tubular Guy 9, that's easy enough for people in the country and possibly suburbia, but not for the folks in the city, not for folks in the city. Let's see. Yeah, boost your own immunity now. Daisy Taylor just said, yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Just working on your own immunity, trying to make sure you're staying rested and getting enough sleep and, taking extra vitamin C and all those type of things. Hey, Michael Holiday, mortality rate much lower outside of Wuhan, appears to be economically incapacitate than depopulate. Hold on a second, I got to read the rest of that comment. Glenn Travels, American Channels, good analysis. Well, again, that's right now what they're saying. First of all, we don't really know what the true numbers are in Wuhan, okay? So until we knew exactly what the rate is of people dying from it, then we'll get a better picture of it. Now, are people that are going to be compromised physically going to be more susceptible to it? Of course. Any kind of sickness, anybody that is more susceptible, you're elderly, you're disabled. When I say disabled, I'm talking about, people on ventilators. People with compromised immune systems, somebody that's on cancer meds, or they're weak from getting radiation. They're already sick. You know what I mean? They're already trying to fight something else, and this thing could come in and that could wipe them out. That's reality. Okay, so little kids could also be really infected because they're vulnerable. Their immune systems aren't built up yet. So those are the ones that are going to be more susceptible to catching something that could be deadly. Imagine 10 super spreaders at the Super Bowl. They can infect 100,000 people at the Super Bowl. Exactly. And one sick person could infect a whole bunch of people at that Super Bowl in no time at all. And that's a reality of that too. And like I said, there's too many unknowns at this point for people to just blow it off like it's nothing. Okay. Now, I'm not going to try to overhype it and say, oh my God, the sky's falling, it's the end of the world as we know it, because I don't know that. Okay. So again, I'm not a gloom and doomer. Okay. I'm always going to hope for the best, but in the same time as I'm hoping for the best, I'm going to prepare for the worst. And the thing is, if you have masks and gloves, eye protection, contractor garbage bags, the extra plastic and stuff like that, all those type of things, extra food, extra water, how is that ever a bad thing? That's never a bad thing. You have that in place, and then maybe this one doesn't be the one that is the bad thing, right? But that doesn't mean the next one might not be. So again, better to be safe than sorry. I would always err on the side of caution. That's the way I am. And again, that's how I prepare. Those of us that are preppers that watch the channel, anybody. Oh, and I was going to say too, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon also, so you get all the updates. So I would appreciate that too. I upload every single day. I do live streams 3 days a week, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every single week. So, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. So, so if you'd like to, continue to see what we're doing here, please subscribe. And again, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I would appreciate if you would do that. What are we at? 1.2 in the chat, and we're at 671 on the thumbs up. So if you haven't done that yet, I would actually appreciate that. And I got to tell you guys, anybody that's new that really hasn't watched the channel a lot, my trolls hate it when I ask for a thumbs up. So that's another reason why I love to ask for a thumbs up, because it just irritates them, which I absolutely enjoy doing. So, and also all the trolls that are watching, thank you for your support too, because you're watching. So should I be going to class at the university? Right now, I would say yes. Just be smart. You know what I mean? If you feel like you want to wear a mask to class, there's nothing wrong with that, just for your own protection. Like I said, I have not pulled my daughter out of college yet. I have not. I'm in right now. I'm in that wait and see, keeping an eye on things. Let's see where this thing goes. If it continues to get worse, I said it earlier in the chat. If it continues to get worse, I will pull my daughter out of school. Her and I have already had that discussion. Like if it was a Tuesday and I said, you know what, come home for the next 3 days, and then the weekend, and we'll see where things are after that. If she misses 3 days of school, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Because anything that she would miss at that point, she could catch up. But it's always, like I said, right now I would say go ahead and go to school if you're in college, but, just be smart about it. Hey, Alicia, my kids have asthma. Are they more susceptible? Yes, they would be, Alicia. And thank you very much for the donation as well. Yeah, your kids would definitely be more susceptible with asthma because they're already compromised. So, yes, they would be more susceptible. So I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's, just want to be honest with you. Online classes are much cleaner. Yes, my daughter actually is taking one online class as well. She just dropped out of one class and picked up an online class that she wanted to do instead. The next 24 to 72 hours are critical if the World Health Organization clarifies as an emergency. You're right. If they finally get off the pot and say, yes, this is a major crisis, then things will definitely we need to pay more attention to it at that point. Absolutely. So, I had to tell you guys, we ended up with 8 eggs today at the homestead here. So I got 8 eggs today from the chickens. And tonight is going to be very, very cold. We're going down to 10 degrees tonight. Right now, it's crystal clear outside. I was just out a little while ago, and it is, the stars are out like crazy. So it's a real clear night. So when it's real clear like that, that's when it gets really cold. So, yeah, the CDC is lying. Wolf Pup just said that. You know what? And you're right. It's we're never going to be told the truth. That's what I want you guys to remember too. So we need to protect ourselves. We got to, again, pay attention to what is going on. Okay. Now the thing is, they really couldn't get away with locking down a whole city like that in the United States without information getting out, because there's too many people here in the United States that would get that information out. But it would definitely be a very, very bad thing. Yeah, all you need, if you got a ham operator in that city, man, they would get that information out in a heartbeat. China has a lot more control over their people. So, and China has no problems with shooting somebody if they get out of line. So, that's something you got to think about too. But, again, this could be something very, very bad. It could blow over. I'm hoping it blows over. I'll be honest with you. I hope it's not as bad as I think that it is. But again, with just from the information that we're getting, again, we're not being given the full picture. And I'll say, I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. You don't lock down 50 million people, completely lock them down and quarantine them for something that's only affecting 6,000 people in your country, and with only this small amount of deaths. John Santos is trying to share a message he wants you to read. Okay, I didn't see it. So if he wants to throw that up again, I'll look for it. Sorry, John, I didn't see. Let's see. I'm looking for your thing here, John, if you're going to put it up here so I can see it. Somebody just made a good point here, and I want to make sure I give it the right person. Hold on one second. And I want to read this comment. Prepper 101 said, the hospitals are almost full on a normal day, let alone during a pandemic. That's something that is really, really good advice, and it's really, really true. Let's see. I'm still not seeing John's comment on here, guys. Anyway, but yeah, think about on a normal day and the normal stuff that goes on. It's in a hospital, and then you throw a pandemic on top of it. You're talking about a nightmare. They don't lock down that many people unless it's a pandemic. Exactly. World of Retro Gameplay just said that. And you're 100% right. The only reason they lock down a city like that is because they're trying to contain a pandemic. And then you throw in how many more cities are being done that way in that area. It's insane. I mean, it's scary, scary insane. So it's a lot worse than we're being told. A Maryland man came from China to Las Vegas, then went to Baltimore. Oh, John Santos. Okay, thank you, John. I appreciate that. Right. So, again, you have these people that are coming here possibly sick, and they're traveling around, maybe for business, maybe for whatever. But again, how many people are really infected? That's what we got to think about. And again, so, okay, here's a great example. And I'm going to use myself. Over the Christmas break, right? So beginning of January, my daughter and I went on vacation. So let's use this as an example. She's got 2 roommates that are Chinese. Now they're from New York City. They're not from China, but they're Chinese girls. Okay. My daughter's infected. She gets me infected. I go on vacation. I'm driving. I'm stopping at gas stations on the way, getting gas, interacting with people at the gas stations. Then we went to Washington, D.C. We stayed with friends in Washington, D.C. Now I've just infected both of them and their son, right? Then we were out. We went to the Indian Museum. We were at the Aerospace Museum. We were at the Art Museum. We were all over down in Washington visiting, seeing different things with all these other crowds, huge crowds of people. So now we've infected all of them. Then from there, we went down to Nags Head in North Carolina. We spent a night there, so I've interacted with people there. And again, I've had to stop and get gas on the way. Then from there, we went to Myrtle Beach. I'm infecting everybody that I'm coming into contact with there. We stopped at a couple of Harley places, right? Harley stores, and got some Harley gear. So now I'm infecting those people. From there, we went into central South Carolina. I stayed with a friend of mine there. So I just infected him, his mother, and his son, right? And then from there, we went to Tennessee. We stayed in Georgia. I met with Choo Choo, right? Now I just infected Choo Choo, who went home and infected his wife and his kids, all his workers. Then Choo Choo left. Now think about this, guys, too. Choo Choo left then after he met us, and he went on vacation. He went on a cruise. He just infected everybody on that cruise, right? We left Georgia, drove all the way up to Pennsylvania. I stayed in Pennsylvania, met some people there. So think about just that trip that we just did. If I was infected with the virus and didn't know it because I was on an 8-day vacation, and I had no idea I was sick and contagious, look how many people I just came in contact with on that vacation. A lot of people. And I'm not talking hundreds of people. I'm talking about thousands of people. Because we were in Washington, D.C., and that place is packed full. So that's how easy one person can spread that virus. So when I'm telling you this is not a game, this is not a joke, that we really need to be paying attention, we really need to be paying attention. There's people traveling every day all over the place. There's flights coming in from China every single day since this has happened as well. So do we mention signs and symptoms to watch for? Well, okay, so Callie Ford just asked that question. It represents as a normal flu. So you're talking high fever, dry cough, sweats, not feeling, body aches and stuff like that. That's how it's representing. But what's happening is it actually is shutting down the vital organs of the body for people. So, that's the scary thing with that. That is really the scary thing. So incubation time along with no symptoms is really dangerous. Justin Y just said that. You're right, Justin. That's probably the scariest thing. You want to go out? Come here. Hold on. I have to do my duty. Hold on. Yes, I see. You want to go outside? All right. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm a professional doorman. That's my job here at home. That cat came over, stood down over here, looked at me and cried because he wanted to go outside. So it's what I have to do. Yep, Terrence Parker Jr. just said the virus only needs one person to do its business. You're absolutely right. But again, the scary things with this virus is the incubation period. That is a scary thing, up to 2 weeks, and being infectious in that 2-week period. How many people are they infecting? Okay. Yeah, China's not putting out the true numbers. You're right. Exactly right. So, and again, so let's see. All fast food, Cisco, fruits and vegetable sales in the U.S. from China could be infected. You know what? You're right. They could be, but we don't know for sure. So, guys, you want to take care of Bend over there. Thank you very much. Sad, pathetic little people, to be honest with you. People with compromised lungs need to bunker down soon. You're right, Justin. That's very good advice. But like I said, again, it's better to be safe than sorry. It is absolutely better to be safe than sorry. The scary times, guys, there's no doubt about it. It's definitely scary. But again, we need to just stay focused, take care of our business, get as ready as you possibly can be. Because when the time comes when you say, okay, we really need to bunker down, that's when you go, okay, we'll take care of business. We're going to bunker down. That's when you need to do it. You know what I mean? That's the important thing. I'm going to ask again, where are we? 842 on the thumbs up. We got 1.2 thousand people in. So yeah, guys, if you could shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel, I would really. Max, stop. He's scratching again. I don't know why he's scratching for. Is it safe to take my meds? They are all probably coming from China. You're probably safe as far as that goes. Again, we don't know. You know how long it can stay in contact with things. We just don't. That's an unknown at this point. But yeah, camera's alive. No, it's the cat scratching himself over there, so it was making the camera shake. It's an earthquake. No, I'm like kidding myself. But yeah, it's craziness with the animals. How old are my cats? Oh my God. Okay, so so Bella's the oldest. She's 10. All right, Buddy. I believe he's 8 because he's a rescue. I got him when he's probably about 2 years old, and we've had him for 6 years. So Buddy's probably about 8 years old. Soxy is 7. Max is 6. And let's see, we got Lucy. I don't know how old Lucy is because he kind of adopted us. He came here and said, hey, I like you people. I'm staying with you. Molly is probably about 2 now because she was definitely a kitten when she came. And Abel and Gelco, they're just turned a year. So they just about a year old now. So, yep. And then the puppies will be, I think, 2 later this year. I think they'll be 2 years old later this year. Media is more concerned about the impeaching Trump. Oh, my God, yeah. I'm like so sick of all that nonsense. I'm ready to throw up with all that. I don't even want to see it anymore. Colorado biker sharing a good bit of info. Okay, again, sorry guys, if I'm missing stuff, I apologize. So Colorado biker, if you want to throw up what you were saying again, don't panic. Only Tamiflu is a viable antiviral. Well, again, like I said, they don't know. A Colorado prepper. Let's see. Got a call today from a courier friend. He just took a sample of coronavirus to the CDC research lab. Hold on a second. Let me go back to this so I can read this comment. Sorry. He does biohazard hazmat transfers. Wow. Okay, he's taking it from Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of scary. Again, are we going to get all the information even here in the United States? Never going to happen. They're going to try to keep a lid on it as much as they possibly can. That's what they're going to do. They don't want people to panic. They don't want people to make a run at the stores. And when they'll let us know is probably when it's too late, to be honest with you. So, let's see. Wow, 23. Your cat's going to be 23. That's very cool. That's an old cat. The longest cat that I've had, I had 2 cats that lived 15 years. And that was generally about the end of it for them. They were about 15, and both of them just, they both died. Yeah, no one is taking this serious. Law and Order prepper said no one's taking. Yeah, and it's like a lot of people are making a joke out of it. And, but you got to understand why. Why are people taking it like that? Because they see all this stuff in the news all the time, and they think it's the next thing, like Chicken Little running around, the sky is falling and stuff like that. So they don't pay it. It's just like realistically, if you think about it, there's a hurricane coming. There's a hurricane coming. They tell you a week, 10 days ahead of time, this hurricane's coming. When do people actually get ready for that hurricane? 1 to 2 days before it hits? Because, oh my God, a hurricane's coming. Yeah, you knew a week ago, but you didn't go then. And now they're at the store with every other Yahoo that didn't pay attention, and they're all trying to get the same stuff at the same time. And then nothing's available, and they can't understand why. And then as soon as the hurricane passes, they take all that stuff back to the store and get rid of it again. So I'm surprised, like I'm surprised I'm the only nurse prepping at my job. You know what? Like I said, people don't want to pay attention. They don't. They just they want to live in their own little bubble and not pay attention to anything else. And it's sad, but that happens a lot. That really happens a lot. So I'm going to ask again, guys, and then I'm going to do my normal thing that I do at this time. I'm going to ask for that thumbs up again. We're at 923, so let's get that jumped up over 1,000. Now the record is 1,200 is where our record is for, and we did that on Sunday. We get 1,200 thumbs up on Sunday. So let's see if let's get it up at least up over 1,000 tonight. So anyway, at this point, guys, I'm going to say like I normally do near the end of my shows. We are all in this together. We are Legion. There's many of us out here. We are all over the country. We are all over the world. We are a huge, huge family of preppers and off-gridders. And we're a small niche group of people, but there's a lot of us, okay? Where is everybody from tonight? So please let me know where you guys are from. Let's see. So hold on a second. No, antibiotics are not going to help the coronavirus. We got Colorado, Montreal, Ohio, Michigan, Maryland, Chicago, Verona, New York, Syracuse, New York, Mobile, Alabama, Long Island, New York, Connecticut. We got Tennessee, South Florida, Nevada, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Mississippi. Let's see, Texas, Georgia, Indiana, California, Brooklyn, New York, Kentucky again. Oh my gosh, it's going real fast. Australia, I just saw go by. Vermont, Colorado, Georgia, Kent in the UK. England, Virginia, Detroit, that's in Michigan, obviously. Let's see, Connecticut. We have Phoenix. We have Ohio, Houston, Detroit, Canada, BC, Prince George, Canada, Florida, Virginia, Arlington, Milwaukee, Georgia, Oklahoma, New Zealand, very nice, Florida, Wisconsin, Argentina. Wow, that's cool. I saw New Jersey, California again, Oregon, Utah, Oakfield, New York. Let's see. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Quebec, Napa Valley, Maryland, Ransomville, New York, Alabama, Dallas, Texas, North Florida, Scotland, New Hampshire, Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Flint, Michigan, Nova Scotia in Canada. Let's see, the Netherlands, very nice. Western New York, West Virginia. We got Detroit, Arizona, Maine, New York, West Milford, New Jersey, Northern Louisiana, Los Angeles, California, Reading, Pennsylvania, Reno, Nevada, Otama, Iowa. I hope I said that right. Arizona. We got Wales. Let's see, New Mexico, Rhode Island, the Netherlands, Horseheads, New York. Guys, we're all over the world. We're all over the country. There are so many of us, and we are all over the place. We can make a difference. We can make a difference now, and we can make a difference after an event. We really can. Is this the event? I'm not going to say 100% for sure that it is. But like I said, with what I see going on in China right now, that definitely has me worried. I'm not going to lie about that. The numbers are greatly under-exaggerated right now. They're under-reported. They're not telling us the true story. Again, you don't lock down 50 million people for 6,000 people being infected and only 132 deaths. There's a lot more going on than we're being informed of. I can almost guarantee you there's a lot more than 5 people infected in the United States right now. Now is our opportunity to get ready, prepare to hunker down, protect your families. Think of your families. That would be my biggest advice. Be smart, about the whole thing. Just, take care of your own. That's the important thing. Absolutely take care of your own. So I'm going to mention again really, really quickly, on my website, we are doing the sale right now. 20% off of the freeze-dried Legacy freeze-dried foods. That 20% is taken off at checkout. So whatever prices you see, 20% will come off when you check out. It's a great opportunity to add to your freeze-dried food storage. Definitely add food at this point in time. It doesn't necessarily have to be freeze-dried food, but you should be adding food no matter what. But like I said, I had many people coming and ask me to do this sale. That's why I did the sale, okay? So it's an opportunity for you to take advantage of that. Again, 20% off. And again, I appreciate all the support from you guys. I got to say, I have the best moderators. They stay on top of stuff. They keep the chat clean. Thank you guys for really, really taking care of stuff. I really, really appreciate that. And again, trolls are going to be trolls. They play their little games. The best thing I want you guys to do is ignore them. My moderators will jump in there and they will take care of them. Okay, they really do. They stay on top of it really, really well. So I really do appreciate them. Again, guys, thank you everybody for the support. Thank you for being here. Be safe. Okay, be smart. Get ready, because we just don't know. There's too many unknowns with this thing right now. And like I said, just be smart, okay? Take care of your own. Get ready as best you can. And when the time comes, and if you have to hunker down, you're going to say, man, I'm glad I listened to Ed. So that's my advice. And I'm following my own advice, guys. I've told you that. I went out and I bought more stuff. I bought more stuff that I'm going to use anyway. I'm going to eventually use more bird feed for the birds, right? I'm going to eventually use more cat food and dog food for the cats and dogs. I'm definitely going to eat more of the stuff that I have. And it's nothing wrong with having more medical supplies on hand at any time. So JJ said, Ed, someone asked, when is the approximate time to withdraw young school-age children? Again, that's going to be a hard call. If I get to that point where I feel that you should probably take your kids out of school, pay attention to what I'm saying, because I'll give you honest advice. I will absolutely give you honest advice, because I'm going to pull my daughter out of school at that point in time as well. So, again, let's not jump to conclusions at this point, but let's just be pertinent and stay on top of stuff and pay attention. Get ready, guys. That's my advice right now. If you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, please do so. Make sure if you are not subscribed to subscribe to the channel so you get all the updates and notifications. Hit that bell icon. Again, guys, I appreciate the support. I appreciate everybody being here for the chat. You guys are awesome. I love doing these chats with you guys, and I love the interaction. I love your comments. I'm sorry if I don't always get to all your comments, but when you have 1,200 people in the chat and people are putting comments up there, they go fast, and I don't always see them. So I'm not trying to ignore anybody. And JJ, thank you for jumping up there here and there and letting me know that somebody's asking a question. I do appreciate that too, okay? What can we take for side effects? You're going to need to treat the flu or the virus like it would be the natural flu. You're going to follow the same kind of protocols. You're going to push fluids. Make sure you're getting your rest. Take your vitamins. Push that vitamin C and stuff like that. Just be smart. And again, if it ends up being the virus, it's not killing everybody. Okay, it has a fairly decent mortality rate from what they're saying, what we're being told. Now, do we know if that's the truth? We don't. But like I said, just be smart, guys, okay? Make sure you're getting your rest. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves right now, because this thing could be the one. It really could be, okay? So anyway, guys, thank you all for being here. I do appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome. Remember, guys, we are all in this together, okay? We really, truly are. Remember also to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So to tell the people that you care about every day how you feel, that's important. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, work at it methodically, and it will happen. Okay? Be it prepping, be it living off grid, whatever you're trying to do, you can do it. Okay? Just be safe, okay? That's the biggest thing I want for you guys. Be safe, prepare, take care of your families, all right? I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.